to Captivated My TV. I'm your host, Mike Harrison. This is my second episode in a few days. Trying to do something new where we do our live show once or twice a week. Now, earlier you listened to Bible study at Servants of God Ministry, and you hear a few of those commercials. So if you guys want to support or can support, go ahead and support where you can. If you're listening to 92.7, that's in Maitland, and if you are tuning in on YouTube, that way, that's where I am live. So tonight, the topic that came to my mind that I wanted to discuss with everybody is when it comes to our mindset, especially living in the United States and living in this modern time, we have to get to a point where we have a level of dependence and a level of independence, right? And I'm a person that always like to, view the definition of things before I get in, you know, get any further. That way, everyone is on the same page, because words have meaning. And in this modern time, what I realize is that there are people who, let me just go ahead and put this headphones on. All right. What I realize is there are people in this modern times that will use words and they'll make up words, or they don't want to stand on the meaning of the word from their what their original state are. It's important for us to know the meaning of words. It's important to know etymology. Etymology is a study of words, right? So when you study etymology, it helps you to understand the root or the origin of those words, and it can help us understand culture, understand people, and understand things. Especially if you are a Christian and a Bible believer, etymology is really important, because some things in the Bible you read and you say that it doesn't make any sense. But a lot of us, we do not know the origin of the word, knowing that the Bible, from Greek to Hebrew to Aramaic, there's a mixture of languages, and certain words can be taken out of context based on their definition. But despite that, what I'm trying to say is be mindful of words and their meaning, because everything has their meaning. But what I want to talk about tonight is we have a problem when um, when we focus on listening to what other people have to say and other people and what other people stand for, right? So we have a blind trust in people. Most of the times when we hear certain information and certain things, we just take it as is without going back and doing our own research to get a deeper understanding of what it is that we are, looking at, or what it is someone is telling us, and we do not question certain things, especially if we trust the person that's telling us this information. What we don't understand is the person that can be telling us this information could be someone that heard it from someone else, and they then do their due diligence and do the research, so they're sharing the information with you. And sometimes people share their opinion without saying this is my opinion, and then you take it as the old school saying, as gospel or as truth or as fact. So it's important for us, before when I started this YouTube channel, as I said, I believe in the the three pillars, and that is, finance, faith, and also lifestyle. And that for us to live in a state of equanimity or balance, we need to have all three, that we focus on all three and improve on all three on a daily basis, right? Um, in order to have a balanced life. And as I said before in the last video on this, is that I believe that all three they affect each other, right? So going back to what people may say to you, right? Someone will say to you, um, you know, the sky is blue, you know, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's a fact, the sky is blue. But when you go outside, it's a cloudy sky, and it's actually rainy, so it's more of a gray hue, right? You might, or that's not really a good example. Someone might say that you know um, spring water is not good for you, and then you believe them because they're someone that you trust. But when you do the research and the study, you realize the benefits of spring water. Another thing that we have to be mindful of is what I call the agenda of people, right? Because we have a blind trust where we trust basically everyone. But what we don't understand is sometimes there are people that have certain agendas, right? And I'm gonna read this out to you because I have it out on up on YouTube, but I'm just gonna bring it up, right? So it talks about agenda, right? And agenda, right? A plan of things to be done or problems to be addressed. But what I'm focusing on is the underlying intention or motives of a particular person or group. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, this sounds like more conspiracy theories, where there are groups of people that are doing certain things to affect, the people around them. And it's not a matter of conspiracy. It's a matter of thinking about what a human nature is. Everyone wants to be validated, everyone wants to fit in. And when certain people reach a certain level in their life, they they can come up with certain things that they want to see people do. They want to see what they're capable of doing, how they can manipulate people, because not all people are good. And a lot of us, if you have that false assurance that everybody is good, that's not a mindset that we all should have. You should always question people and their intent. Even the Bible tells us, for those who are believers, that you shall know them by their fruits. What are their fruits? Their actions, their character, the things that they do. If something doesn't line up or something smells a little off, then you know that something is wrong. That's why God gave us that intuition. But a lot of us, we are blind to our intuition because of what we say, that this person is my friend and there is trust, right? And there's nothing wrong with having trust in people, but you should always prove what the intent or what the agenda of the person or the group that's around you are, to protect yourself, to protect your family, and to protect those around you. So, with that, I go into what I believe a lot of people do is they have this mindset of you know independence, right? Sorry, and a mindset of dependence. So they are dependent on certain things from certain people. So dependence, right? A state of the state of relying on or being controlled by. Let me put this up on YouTube as well. The definition: dependence, the state of relying on or being controlled by someone or something else. And a lot of us, we have that the dependence. When the government says this, we believe it 100%. When the pastor tells us this, we believe it 100%. When our tell us this, we believe it 100%. When our mother and our fathers, they tell us this, we believe it 100%, and we do not question anything. Even God wants us to question. For those or those of us who are believers, he wants us to question the Bible as you read, to prove him. He says, prove me now and see. God wants to be proven. If the God, the creator of the heaven and earth, is willing to be proven by man, why don't we test our friends, our family, our loved ones who gave us certain information that doesn't make any sense? When I start reading the Bible for myself, because the Bible tells us, to greatly divide the word of truth. God wants us to read the Bible for ourselves and have understanding. God give us that wisdom, right? It says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. If we do not read and we do not attain knowledge, then we are going to suffer. we're going to perish. And so that's something that we as Christians, as believers, as people, have the power to do. And this is why, as I said, I came up with Captivated Mind TV, or Captivated Mind, is that we have to be mindful of what captures our mind, because what we're focused so much on entertainment, we're focused on things that are vanity, things that do not matter, right? Because what? Because everybody else is doing it. We become so dependent on a group of people. We become dependent on what the media says. We become dependent on what the government says and take everything as this is true. But what are the agenda of the people around you? What are the agenda of your friends, family, and loved ones? Sometimes they want you to be set in a certain way to keep you where you are. They, they encourage you to spend your money when you should be saving. That doesn't mean you have to live a life where you don't spend that time, but you have to spend and spend wisely, right? Next thing is what I really want us to get in a mindset of is to have independent mindset where we can think differently than everybody else, but still fit in with the crowd, right? As I said, question everything. When the news tell you this, do your own research. It's so funny because with the stock market going down, with everything happening in the stock market, like last month, I was watching it, and you know the news will come on and they're like, oh my gosh, the Dow is down, the index is down, and everything, is so bad. And then for people who do not know, do not understand, because they don't do their research or anything like that, they do not understand that when you have stocks, right, and you have your portfolio of the stocks that you've purchased, right? Let's say I have 50 stocks, right, in a certain company, and the stock drops. That's good for me, because why is it good for me? Because it dropped. Let's say I bought the stock at $200 a stock, and now it dropped to now it's $50 a stock. It's good for me as a stockholder, because now it's at 50. Now I can remember I bought it at 200 before, right? And now it's at 50. So basically, I can buy more stock for $150 less, so I can buy another $200 worth, and I have more stocks, right? Than what I did before. And then when the market goes back up, that's when I profit or benefit from it. So when the media comes, as I say, their agenda might be to let situation look worse than it actually is. No, when the stocks go down, that's good time to buy, so that when the stock goes back up, then you can sell on the high, and then you can make money, right? But the thing is, if you do not go on the internet, go on YouTube, I always say YouTube University, and look up these things, then how would you know? How would you know that that's how stocks operate? When I was younger, I used to think that stock was gambling. But when you realize is when you buy stock in a company, you're buying a portion of that company. And then to do your due diligence is you should research that company and see if they have a different innovation, different plans to take on new technology, and have different growth. And then you know how to make your move ahead of time, so that you can buy into the stock, hold the stock until it's at a high, and then when it's at a high, you can choose to sell. And I wouldn't sell all the stock, sell enough. But as I said, these are research that you should be doing. Now it's just like, even with the fear of Chat GPT or I look at it as this. If you really think about it, ChatGPT or AI is kind of like YouTube. YouTube, you will go on YouTube, you put in your prompt, which is, how do I fix this car? That's basically what a prompt is, right? With ChatGPT, you can say, how do I fix, it's a 2006 vehicle, and you name whatever vehicle, like Toyota Camry, right? And ChatGPT can give you the breakdown on how to fix whatever problem you have. So the thing is, we have technology at our disposal that can help us to further our knowledge on a lot of things. So instead of being afraid of it, learn what it is and learn how you can use it to better yourself, to better your life, and to better your family, right? But as I say, go back to agenda. There's a lot of people, they are afraid of change, so their agenda is to keep you in the same loop that you don't really grow. AI is here. AI is here to stay, guys. So the best thing for you to do is learn what you can and learn how you can use it. You can use AI to take on a, you can to create your own business. You can use AI to do so many different things, and it's at your fingertips, right? But as I said, there are people who, they, because of their dependence on everybody else, they listen to what other people say and they believe what those other people say, right? And then what happens, right? What happened is they lose. Hold on a second. Yes. So what I was saying is they take on other people's. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, with AI, there's some people that they do not want change because they're okay with the status quo. They were okay with what they have. They're okay with living a subpar life, a basic life, and then they tell you certain things to keep you in that same circle, in the same bubble. But you have the option. You have the tools to take you to another level, to take yourself to another level, to take your family to another level. And in order for you to do that, you have to have an independent mindset where you see things, you test things for yourself in order to have true understanding. So, guys, that's basically all I'm going to say for tonight. Is be mindful of the agenda of people, things, and groups that are around you. Um, it's okay to be dependent on certain things, but you have to maintain an independent mindset. And as I said, and I say always, always be careful of what captures your mind. This is Captivated Mind TV. You're listening on YouTube. You're listening on 92.7 in the Maitland area. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I hope you guys be safe. And I hope you guys take my word to heart, meditate on it, and do some research, because there's a lot of wonderful things in this world that we all can enjoy. Peace and take care of yourself. This is Mike signing out.